Welcome to the coin world, old coin review and value. Today, we're diving deep into the long, fascinating history of the Liberty Quarter Dollar, from the early 1800s all the way to the dawn of the 21st century, from its classical beginnings to modern commemorative designs. This quarter's evolution reflects the growth and story of America itself. Although quarter dollars were first struck in 1796, it wasn't until 1815 that regular minting began. The capped bust design, introduced in 1815 and lasting through 1838, depicted Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom. These early coins were made of 89.24% silver and 10.76% copper. The seated Liberty era begins 1838 to 1891, one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage. The seated Liberty Quarter debuted in 1838, designed by Christian Gobrecht. Lady Liberty is shown seated with a shield in one hand and a Liberty pole in the other. The coin underwent several minor modifications. 1838 to 1853, no arrows or rays. 1853 to 1855, arrows and rays added to indicate a weight change. 1856 to 1873, arrows removed. Rays gone. 1873 to 1874, arrows added again. These changes helped reflect silver content shifts due to fluctuating metal values. The Barber Quarter 1889 to 1916, named after its designer Charles E. Barber. The Barber Quarter featured Liberty in a classical Greek style with a laurel wreath. This period marked a more conservative, artistic era in U.S. coin design. The reverse featured a heraldic eagle, similar to the Great Seal of the United States, designed by Herman A. McNeil. The standing Liberty Quarter reflected a move toward more artistic and symbolic designs. The Type 1 1916 to 1917 featured a bare-breasted Liberty holding a shield and olive branch, symbolizing peace and defense. The Type 2 1917 to 1930 modified Liberty's appearance for modesty and featured a chainmail covering. This coin became symbolic of post-WWI optimism and America's new global stance. The Washington Quarter introduced 1932. In 1932, the Washington Quarter was introduced to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The design by John Flanagan featured Washington's profile on the obverse and a heraldic eagle on the reverse. It replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and was intended to be a one-year commemorative, but its popularity led to permanent adoption. Composition shift during World War II, 1942 to 1964. Washington Quarters continued with 90% silver content until 1964. The design remained stable, but America's involvement in World War II and later economic challenges necessitated a change in composition. These silver quarters are highly sought after today due to their bullion value. The clad era begins 1965. To preserve silver reserves, the U.S. Mint replaced silver with a copper-nickel clad composition in 1965. These modern quarters featured a copper core sandwiched between nickel layers. This transition was crucial in adapting to the economic changes of the 20th century. To commemorative, some dates, like the 1916 standing Liberty Quarter, had extremely low mintages, only 52,000, making them key collector pieces. Coin circulation and wear standing. Liberty Quarters wore down quickly, especially Liberty's date. This led to a recessed date area to prolong visibility in circulatius. America grew prosperous in the 1920s. Coin production soared, but the Depression soon followed, reducing minting dramatically. By 1930, the artistic movement gave way to practicality again. The Great Depression made economic efficiency more important than aesthetic reform. John Flanagan's design marked George Washington's 200th birthday. Originally intended as a one-year issue, it became permanent due to popularity. The Washington Quarter re-established American tradition by featuring a founding father, aligning coinage with national reverence. Silver shortages and industrial demands during World War II did not impact quarter composition initially, but it raised concerns about long-term metal USA. By the 1950s and 1960s, silver prices rose dramatically. People began hoarding silver quarters, which led to a coin shortage and fueled a massive change in 1965. This act eliminated silver from quarters, changing the composition to clad copper-nickel. This was a major monetary policy decision to stabilize the economy. To prevent hoarding, the mint removed mint marks temporarily. Quarters from these years have no visible mint origin. The San Francisco Mint began producing proof-only coins for collectors. helping feed the booming hobby without affecting circulation. The U.S. celebrated 200 years with special commemorative quarters. The drummer boy reverse design became iconic and mass-produced. 30. The introduction of modern proof sets. In the 1980s and 1990s, the U.S. Mint capitalized on collector interest by issuing annual proof and uncirculated mint sets with special finishes. Coin collecting saw a resurgence, partly due to marketing and greater accessibility to historical education about U.S. coinage. Legislation creates state quarters. Program 1997. Congress passed legislation to issue quarters featuring all 50 states. This was a historic change and involved state governments in choosing design. Delaware, the first state, kicked off the program. The designs became cultural milestones, with families collecting new quarters from pocket change. Public involvement in designated states held contests and sought public input on which designs best reflected their identity, increasing national engagement with coinage. Educational value. Teachers, students, and historians used the state quarters to promote education in geography, history, and civics. Thank you for watching.